see a video on Instagram and someone is playing something you want to learn, you get inspired to learn it, but then you go to try it out and it doesn't sound like the way you heard it, and you feel bad, you're frustrated. But the act of feeling bad and being frustrated is literally what stops you from getting it to sound like the final product. This episode of Drum Therapy is sponsored by the Drums Builder app. It's a really cool application where you can compose and save your drum ideas whenever and wherever you are, and you can always go practice it on the drums later. Download now by clicking the link in the description below. Because when you try it out first time, it doesn't sound like the final product. In your mind, you're like, well, this is bad. How can't I get it to sound this way? What is wrong with me? Blah, 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 blah. Then based on that thought pattern and emotion, you go to try it out again. And because you already feel like you can't do it, it keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and you keep going down until you reach a point where you just give up because it's probably not worth it. I tried it, it didn't work. That person, I don't know how they played it, but I tried it, it didn't work. Usually for the people that are playing the things that they played, that we are trying to learn, they actually learned it quite unconsciously because they just kept on doing it until it felt good, until it became natural. And to keep on doing it until it becomes natural is to not judge the mistakes in the process of practicing. A baby learning how to walk does not judge itself for falling down the first time he tries to walk. It doesn't judge himself or herself for falling down the second time, the 200th time. Even the mother or the father doesn't judge the baby for trying to walk and falling down. The baby doesn't give up when they try to walk one time and it doesn't work. It's like, oh, I'm done. Well, it wasn't meant to be, because I tried it, it didn't happen. Cool, that's fine. But that's not how it is. Like, it usually is that the baby is actually not conscious of the process of failing. He's just trying and keeps on trying until it starts to feel natural. Then after some time, the baby has got it and he's walking. But when we grow up, the process of acquiring a new skill like drumming or a process of improving yourself becomes more of a goal-oriented thing. I want to hit A by this time, or I want to be able to sound like this. It's good to have those goals. In fact, we need to have those goals to improve. But then those goals don't need to be translated into the process of practicing. So whilst you're practicing, you're not thinking of the big astronomical goal that you set for yourself, or you would be judging that against what you're doing. And obviously what you're doing right now will not compare to that. Besides, there are two different spaces. The process of practicing is usually just working over what is not smooth yet. So if you want to translate that to the finished product, it would obviously not measure up. So what we usually run away from is we are not comfortable with being bad at something because we see an end goal, right? And I want to be as good as so-and-so. I want to be as good as so-and-so. That's okay. But we have to enjoy the process of being terrible at the thing we are doing, because it's only in the terrible that it becomes good. When we enjoy the process of being terrible and work at it, then we can be good. When you want to escape from doing the thing you need to do to get to the good part, like people just say, well, I just want to wake up one day and know how to play drums. I just want to wake up one day and be blazing all over the drums. That is the mindset that you will never get to the point of being able to play it fluidly, because you have to actually love the process of being bad. You have to like be sucked into the grind, like a baby trying to walk again, like that analogy. The baby is focused on the process of walking. However it turns out, they fall, get up, fall, get up. They will still focus on just that process of walking. And you would see that usually it's not like the baby wakes up one day and it's like, I think I figured out this walking thing. I'm good. I'm done. They would keep on walking until it comes naturally. And that, I think, is the key here. It's coming naturally. You have to keep on doing it and love it until it comes naturally, and still keep on doing it. Let's say some 16th notes, paradiddle, flammadiddle pattern, something, right, that you're trying to learn. First time you try it out, it doesn't work out. Cool, try it. It doesn't work out. But then when you get into the process of just trying it out and keep on trying it out and standing outside yourself like an observer and just watching what doesn't work, modify. What doesn't work, modify. Then you actually move closer to getting it to sound like what you want it to sound like. But when we put in the emotional aspect of, this doesn't sound like it, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just play this? I've been playing drums for like 10 years, 20 years, 50 years. And this simple thing, I can't do it. It actually pulls you out of it, because your mind is doing other things, whilst it should be just focusing on the thing and doing it enough times that your body starts to learn how it feels like. Because ultimately, practice is just building muscle memory. Probably some people know this, but muscle memory is a thing with the body where when you do one action for long enough, your body actually learns how to do it, such that your brain doesn't need to think about how to calculate the movements to do it. You just know how to do it. It's actually in the brain, but your body just understands what it needs to do. It's like riding a bike, right? The first time you learn how to ride a bike is very disorienting. But you keep doing it long enough and you learn how to ride a bike, then your brain understands that these are the set of movements we need to do to ride a bike. So all that has already been programmed, is there, and it just needs to execute when you want to ride a bike. So that's how come they say you can literally lose half of your brain. You can literally lose your memory, forget your name, forget your family, have amnesia. But something like riding a bike, you can never forget it. It's hard to forget it, actually. Maybe you can forget it, but it's really hard to forget it because it has been encoded in the way your body moves. So what we want to do is get the practice session to a point such that the thing you are trying to do becomes a pre-programmed memory in your mind, in your body. Then you can just execute. When we have this sort of disconnect between trying to do the thing and evaluating in the process of doing the thing with the emotional attachment on top of it, it's like we're not fully in the moment. So we don't actually execute the way we need to execute. Let's put it this way. You're having a conversation with someone, right? And you're thinking about something else. You would find that that conversation, literally a few minutes later, you wouldn't remember anything the person said. that is how it is. Or you, even in the moment, you will not be able to follow what the person is saying because you're trying to do two things at the same time. And that usually doesn't work. So what we need to do is focus on the moment of practice. Like even forgetting about what you're trying to practice. Once you figure out that this is what needs to be done in the process of practice, we forget about the end product. The end product is like a distant guide, and what we are trying to do at this point is just to execute the thing without judgment, just observing, executing, just observing. So when we see that the stroke is not coming out the way it is, we modify and execute, modify, execute, until we get into that zone. It's like in a zone of practice, and you just keep going. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I will see you in another video.